I am in Emerson this year, and I'm more than ecstatic because I have an oven. And I'm one of those people, y'all. I've got my sourdough starter. I'm ready to go. I'm just going to get so much flour from Wegmans, and that's going to be me every single weekend. Just feeding it throughout
Well,
the week, and then I'll have like 12 loaves every weekend.
speaking of being ready to go, why don't we kick this session off? Good afternoon,
Awesome.
everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time today to join us via Zoom to talk about living on campus. To make this session as beneficial as possible, we encourage everyone to enable their camera, but to please keep your microphones muted. All questions should be submitted via the chat, and I'll be sure to answer them. My name is Shelly Basilio, and I'm the Assistant Dean of Student Engagement here at Hobart and William Smith. I've been working at the institution in residential education, which is our housing and residence life department, for about 7 years. I also have the good fortune of being able to work with our Posse Scholar program as well as our First Generation Initiative on campus supporting those students. Um, Today, I'm joined by a couple of students who are happy to be sharing their experiences with you and talking about all of the benefits of living on campus. So before I give you a rundown on residential education, I'm going to ask the students to introduce themselves. So Audrey, why don't you start us off?
Hi, y'all. My name is Audrey Platt. I'm a junior here at the colleges. I'm originally from San Francisco, California, so I'm home. We have gorgeous sunshine and warm days, so I'm happy to be out of the snow. On campus, I'm majoring in political science and Latin American studies, and I'm also an RA, so I've lived kind of all over campus. I studied abroad in Mendoza, Argentina in the fall of my sophomore year, and I do a ton of things on campus, everything from yoga to the radio station to working in admissions to working with our nonpartisan voter registration team.
That's wonderful. Thanks, Audrey. Edens, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Edens Fleurizard. I'm a senior here at the colleges. I'm a philosophy major, double major with Africana Studies, minoring in Law and Society. I work in the Office of Admissions. I'm a member of the Hobart basketball team. I'm the chapter president of Alpha Phi Alpha, and I am also the Hobart student representative on the Board of Trustees.
That's it. You don't have any extra or
Yeah, that's it.
how about you, Gia?
Hi, my name is Jia Marciniak. I am from Buffalo, New York. I am a junior double majoring in economics and philosophy with a minor in Latin. I am also a first generation college student, an RA on campus. This past year, I was in Blackwell House on the William Smith Hill, which is the coolest place ever. On campus, I am in the college's chorale, and I'm also a member of 3 Miles Lost, which is the all-female a cappella group. And I'm a first-gen student worker, and I contribute blog posts to a national platform called I'm First for first-generation college students.
And Josh?
Hello, everyone. My name is Josh Kakuma. I'm a junior. I'm a history major and a double minor in entrepreneurial studies and music. I work in the Office of Admissions. On top of that, I'm also a part of the Hobart football team. I'm a big brother through Big Brothers Big Sisters with a local Geneva middle school student, which is really cool. And as well, I'm a first generation college student. I'm in the first generation National Honor Society, Tri Alpha, which is something really cool that we just brought to campus this year. And yeah, me and Eden stay busy. Audrey, we stay busy. Gia, definitely. So I'm glad to be here with these three, and we'll have a great session for you guys.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much. So before we start sort of grilling you with all of the important questions, I'm just going to give a brief overview of residential education. Everyone's interested in where they're going to live and what that experience is going to be like. So just to give you all sort of an overview or some snippets of what to expect. Once you are loaded into the platform over the summer, you'll have the opportunity to take a housing preference form or housing questionnaire. I cannot stress to you enough that you should take this survey alone. Do not take it with family members present because we want you to be as honest as possible. If you are messy, that's okay. We want to know about it. because we want to make sure that we're placing you with someone who has similar lifestyle, similar preferences as you, so that we can make sure we do everything we can to make sure that that roommate experience is a solid one. Talking a little bit about roommates, the majority of first-year students are placed in a traditional double room with a roommate, and we assign those roommates based upon a variety of factors. That includes your preference. If you meet someone and you really sort of gel and hope to live with them, we try very hard to make those roommate matches fruitful and successful. That being said, we also take into consideration your first year seminar. So all first year students take a first year seminar class, and you are housed with others in your first year seminar, and we don't want to take away from that co-curricular academic experience. So we do everything we can to house you with a friend if you have someone. If not, I think it's even better to go in with an open mind and get assigned your roommate via the preference form who's in your FSEM for a really unique and hopefully really positive experience. We also have something called living learning communities, which are really unique and really something that we're proud of in residential education and at HWS. These first year seminars that are in living learning communities, you actually take your class right on the floor. So your lounge space has been converted into a multi-use room that can be a lounge, it can be a classroom, and your faculty actually come to you. So on those super cold and wintry days, you have the good fortune of rolling out of bed and walking down the hall to take a class, and your faculty makes the commute to you, which is really, really wonderful. And you will find out your housing placement as well as your roommate information via your HWS email, usually at the very beginning of August. It's a really exciting time. So let's sort of open it up to our student panel. Let's spend a little time talking about roommates. So what has your experience been like living with a roommate? Think back to those first year nerves about living with somebody, and let's hear from our student panel. Audrey, do you want to start us off?
Absolutely, for sure. You guys, I have to say, Res Ed did a phenomenal job with me, and I would not kid you, quite literally. So I came to the colleges really not knowing anyone. I'm coming from San Francisco, California. There weren't any of us really that were coming. I didn't know a soul, and I was more than stoked by my placement. I was in Sherrill Hall, where I'm an RA now, one of the best. Gia says, yeah. And it is a great space. It's a co-ed living environment. And I was placed with my still greatest friend today, Lucy Denton. And she was from Portland, Maine, like 3,000 miles apart, separated at birth, but it was perfect. Our styles totally meshed. We had like tribal carpets that like covered our whole floor. We like found them in like weird like yard sales in Geneva. Our styles were perfect. Our study habits were like absolutely complete. And I have to say, in hindsight, when we talk about this, it was really those moments when we were honest on our application. I cannot stress that enough. Wherever you go, please be honest there, because we both said what we were going to do. We definitely were those people on campus. So she loved to study in the library. I loved to stay in the room. I was also in a few studio art classes my first year. So I was doing a lot of stuff like in the room, and I would have paints everywhere, and I would make like a total mess, and I quite literally got paint everywhere. I cleaned it up. But at the same time, it was great because she would go out to the library and work, and then she would come back and I would have cleaned everything up. So it was perfect. And we also would eat together for the first part of the semester, and we introduced one another to a ton of different friends. So my first year seminar, I had about 3 other students that were in that class with me on that same floor. So we'd study together. But it was also awesome because those were 2 friend groups. They're really small classes, really intimate spaces, only about 12, 15 students or so. Those friends that I had in that class were automatically her friends, just vice versa. And I would never have been in her class. It was about theater, nothing I was interested in at the time, but it was an awesome opportunity for me to get to know a wide variety of folks. We had a great lounge space. We also had an awesome bathroom. I'm a big plant person, so we got a ton of plants in our bathroom going. It was like a beautiful tropical rainforest. And I could not be more than happy. I miss her every day still. As an RA, I live on my own, and I could never have dreamed of having a better roommate than Lucy, for sure.
We love to hear that, for sure. Thank you. Any other students want to share their experience living with a roommate?
I feel like that experience was pretty high up there. Mine was pretty regular in comparison, to be honest.
You know what?
Okay, but you live in a house with like all your boys.
True. So let's do that instead. So a little different housing experience is having housemates. So if you choose, you can choose in your freshman year for going to your sophomore year, your first year going into your sophomore year, excuse me. You can apply to live in a theme house, and one of the theme houses is the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity theme house. It is the Alpha Alpha is a historically Black Greek letter organization, and it's the only Black Greek letter organization that we have on campus. And we decided that we wanted to apply for a theme house so we can have kind of our own space with just all of us. And it makes having meetings and things earlier because we don't easier because we don't have to necessarily leave the house to go do that. So we applied for a theme house. We're right on St. Clair, and that's pretty cool because you can go out of your room, go upstairs, go sideways, go across the hall, and have everyone in the house and be able to hang out. We have our own living room, dining room, kitchen area. So it's just, if the dorm life isn't for you, there's also an off-campus, on-campus housing option, which is a theme house because, having your own kitchen and bathroom across the street makes you feel like you're off campus, but not necessarily having to deal with a landlord makes you feel like you're on campus as well.
Absolutely. And we have 52 residential properties on campus, so there are many, many options. Most institutions our size do not have that many options, and we're really excited about our theme houses and things like that. So let's talk a little bit about dining. What has your experience been like with dining on campus, and what's your favorite thing to eat?
I would say my favorite thing to eat on campus is definitely my kitchen. Like if you're going to the dining hall, as a first year with unlimited swipes, my kitchen is this like specific spot, like kind of back in the back of the dining hall where you're actually going to get like homemade kind of like custom meals, and they're really, really good. They'll do salmon with like some noodles and things that they'll put together, and it turns out really well. And that's probably one of my favorite spots.
What about you, Jia?
I do like, a lot of people don't like the dining hall, but I think it's awesome. You have so many options every day, and there's always a variety of different options. I would say my biggest advice is when you have the unlimited plan, get breakfast before your class because it's going to make all the difference. When you're going to class with a full stomach, you're going to focus so much better, and you have that wonderful opportunity with the unlimited swipes. And the breakfast options, I would say, are pretty good. They have fresh fruit every day, bagels, eggs, all that fun stuff, muffins.
The breakfast options are where it's at, I have to say. I'm one of those morning people, and I live for their grapefruit. Like, that is my fresh fruit staple in life. But I also have to kid with you guys because quite literally, our dining services are really incredible. They are super flexible. And I think this is important to figure out wherever you're going. I am one of those students that I've been able to push them and work with them a ton, quite literally. And now we have everything from oat milk to oat ice cream. We have all kinds of vegan and veggie alternatives, from like quite literally oat like butter to like earth balance butter. We have coconut yogurt, and it's all working with the staff. They know who you are personally. I'm not vegan, vegetarian, or gluten-free myself, or even lactose intolerant, but I want to make these things accessible and make more healthy options available in our dining services. So I'm always pushing them, and they're working right back with me. And I think at some points I'm definitely that annoying student that's pushing them really hard on this stuff. But then we get results, and it's awesome. And we have College Town bagels, and those bagels are just top of the line. They come straight from Ithaca, and they are to die for. And quite literally, like, throw them in the toaster. You have a million options now for cream cheese. Solid gold, people.
I think it's important to note that we do have multiple dining locations on campus as well. So we've spent the majority of our time talking about Saga, which is our traditional dining hall on campus, all you care to eat options. We also have ABP, or Au Bon Pain, which is our coffee cafe shop in the library. Many students frequent AVP daily, multiple times a day during finals to get that caffeine boost or to grab a cup of tea and sort of chill out. We also have the Cellar Pub, which has more like appetizery foods and kind of a chill feel, feels a little bit more like a restaurant. And then we have the cafe that serves a variety of options in sort of a food court style. So there are a lot of different options for students. The first year meal plan, being the Finger Lakes Unlimited plan, also comes with the most amount of snack money. So you'll be good to go eating on campus for sure. So let's transition a little bit into what you do outside of class. So what do your weekends look like?
There's plenty of things for students to do on the weekends. A lot of our sporting events are particularly on the weekends. So if you have any friends on sports teams, or if you're on a sports team, you're either going to be playing, traveling. That takes up a lot of time. Club events, clubs also have events on the weekends, whether they're going to be like formals or dinner events, things of that nature. And obviously on a college campus, you're going to have your social events, whether you're, going downtown, hanging out with friends, or just doing that on campus. So that runs the whole gamut of things.
Yeah, what does the weekend look like for you?
It's definitely a good balance between socializing and studying. I'll usually spend my weekend mornings in the library just getting things done. And then on a nice afternoon, my friends and I love to walk downtown, which is a super quick walk, and check out the shops, maybe get lunch, and go to the state park, the lake where the lake is. So definitely.
Yeah. It is pretty beautiful there for sure.
Oh my gosh. And we also we have benches right on campus to look out onto the lake. So on a nice day, I definitely recommend just going and sitting.
Josh,
The lake views are unbeatable.
Josh, your weekends look a little different when you're in season. What is that like as a student athlete?
Yeah, so in season, and especially football, our weekends are a little full. We play on Saturdays, so our whole day on Saturday is kind of taken, not necessarily taken from us, but we're playing, the sports we love, which is amazing. But that doesn't mean that we can't, still socialize, with respect to our sport as well. On Friday and Saturday nights, we can also engage with other sports as well. Hockey will play throughout the week, basketball will play throughout the week, soccer, all these other sports as well will be playing throughout the week that we can support, even though we're in season, even if it's just stopping by for a few minutes, which is really nice. But for me, Sunday's a work day. You kind of have your Fridays and Saturdays tied up with sports. You can get some studying in there, but ideally, Sunday for me is going to be all studying and preparing for the next week, making sure I'm not behind when Monday comes around. And for me, outside of HWS on the weekends, I like to take advantage of the state park and really the outdoors that Seneca Lake provides, which is really amazing. Just a 2-minute drive or a couple-minute walk, you can go fishing. You can get kayaks or rentals or anything like that, and really just go to the state park and enjoy some outdoors, which is nice.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. So thinking about sort of balancing your social life on campus and your academics, how do you find time to get your work done, and where's your favorite place to study? Edens, do you want to start?
Yeah, I actually have a funny story. As I said earlier, I'm a philosophy and Africana studies double major. That was not the plan originally coming into college. I was hell set on being an economics major, and that was working out until I failed calc my first year fall. Was just woefully unprepared for that. And someone said to me kind of second semester, as I was trying to figure out how I was gonna recoup that grade, why don't you just go to the CTL? At the time I was like, the hell is a CTL? Because obviously first year orientation don't pay attention to anything. CTL is a Center for Teaching and Learning, and they have everything there, and they're amazing. I went in to get help with time management, which is one of the things they help you with. So they have study mentors, people to help you, prepare for exams and quizzes and such. They have writing fellows, people to look over some of your essays, things like that. They have teaching fellows, people per subject area that are chosen by the faculty that help have their own office hours to help you understand material, things of that nature. And then the people with time management, which is what I really needed help with. And they had these big picture calendars that map out the whole semester. And they just helped me plan my day, right? Like, you have class at this time, you have practice at this time, here's where you're working out, So here's where you're gonna do your homework, here's where you're gonna study, here's where you're gonna take your notes, here's where you're gonna hang with your friends, whatever. And that was really cool to have instead of aimlessly going about my day. Because, when your last class is at noon and you don't have practice until 7 p.m., it's easy to just, play video games and watch TV, and then you're done around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then you're like, wow, it's it's so late and I have all this work. What did I do? I went to class, I went to practice, and it's like, what did you do for those 7 hours in between? So being able to have my day charted out like that was very helpful and got me back on track. So moral of the story, use a CTL, get ahead instead of playing catch up, or you can play catch up and also be fine. I played catch up and was fine, but save yourself the stress.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Best ways to sort of keep yourself focused? Favorite place to study?
Okay, sometimes you need to get off campus and you need a break, and campus is gorgeous and incredible. And as we mentioned, we have incredible state parks and the view is stunning, but we have some of the grooviest coffee shops downtown and a series of awesome ones, just like quite literally a Finger Lake away or a drive away. I don't have a car on campus, but I have a ton of friends that do, and it's totally worth the drive. Going away from campus to get out into the real world again, sometimes you feel like you have to, but it's also a great opportunity to get motivated. And there's one called Amity Coffee, which is like just down the lake in another town, and I think it's like less than 20 minutes away. Or you can walk off campus to Monaco's. If y'all have Instagram, definitely go on right now. I'll drop it in the chat. It's called Monaco's Coffee. 10 out of 10 recommend. But they have phenomenal lattes, and they have an awesome space to sit in because it's that buzz, but it's generally students, and sometimes you'll see your professors there working too because they love the culture. And it's also one of the grooviest spots. They've got great Wi-Fi. It's a great off-campus job opportunity too. And different spaces switch up your vibe entirely. And so I find I need a break from the rhythm.
That's great. Keep the questions coming in the chat if you have questions for specific students or just in general. We have a couple of questions that have come in. How many people live in a theme house, and are there roommates in theme houses? Excellent question. It really depends on the theme house. There are some single rooms available, some doubles, triples. So it really is what you make of it. We have about, our houses range from 6 people to 30 people. So there's really a wide range in theme houses. Next question for my panelists. Do students work on campus? And can you talk about your on-campus work experience? Jia, do you want to start?
Sure. So my main job on campus right now is an RA, residential assistant. So it definitely takes up most of my time, but the benefits are awesome. So if you feel like you want to be an RA, definitely apply. It's literally the coolest job ever. And a lot of my job is connecting with people who live on my floor in my building. And it's just honestly a gift. We hold floor programs for them and we get to connect in that way. And it's just awesome to have one of the students that live, in your building come up to you in the library and tell you about like this test that they were so worried about that they aced. So I'd say that's awesome. And then I'm also a first gen student worker. So we have a special study space for anyone who is a first generation college student, which I highly recommend going to, especially if you need like absolute quiet or just support from someone who has similar experiences growing up from you, like with you. And I just, I sit in the study space and, I get to do homework with other students and I get paid to do it and clean up the space. So those are my main work experiences. And then this upcoming fall, I am assisting the housing director and doing just little jobs for her in the office.
Great. Next question coming in is, what is the process like for starting a theme house? Josh, you tried to start a theme house this year. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so it's really easy when the theme house applications are kind of being developed. They'll also send out an email to apply for new themes. Each year they'll kind of, Res Ed will explain like how many openings there are, or how many themes they're looking to bring on. And you can kind of, it's like a Google form that you'll fill out and apply. They'll just want like a name of the theme house, the kind of, I guess you would say, just grounded kind of structure of what this theme house is going to do, how is it going to help the community, and because all of our theme houses are service oriented, community service oriented, there'll be some aspect of community service with that that you'll be able to explain in this application, and really just kind of develop this whole theme, this program, this community that's going to be in this theme house, and how it's going to help the community. And each year you're able to apply for a new theme and be the house manager for that theme house that you've applied for.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And panelists, if you wouldn't mind just throwing your names and email addresses, your Instagram handle, if you feel comfortable with that, in the chat. So if anybody has questions specific to you that we can't get through today, that we can make sure students are connected to you, that would be great. Let's see here. What is your best advice for incoming first-year students? Why don't we go Audrey, Edens, Jia, Josh. Best advice for incoming first-year students.
You got it. Okay, my best advice, wherever you go, whatever you do, colleges will have so many incredible resources for you. And of course, we're going to be partial. The colleges have supported me in a ton of different ways that I did not even know was going to be possible. But I got to say, you got to make the most of it wherever you go and advocate for yourself and reach out for these. There is so much at your fingertips, quite literally, from career services to our study abroad. We have incredible programs, but you certainly have to go out there and get it for yourself. I went abroad as early as my sophomore year. I knew I wanted to go abroad. I knew I wanted to go to a Spanish-speaking country, but I was hearing a ton of different things. We're ranked incredibly well for study abroad. I do have to say, no big deal. But I had to reach out for those opportunities. I had to apply. I had to ask the questions, and I got major results. And I have to say that applies wherever you go. So definitely advocate for yourself, get involved, and go for it. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, outside of the programs, which even better than that, sounds corny, are the people, right? Even better, that's probably one of the biggest perks of being at a small school, is being able to establish genuine relationships with folks. And then when those folks happen to, because the school is so small, be a head of a department, or, the dean of admissions, or head career counselor, right? They really do look out for you. And they do help you out, and it's just about establishing those genuine relationships. So the earlier you do that on, the better off you'll be later on in your career. I promise you that.
That's great advice.
Similar to what Eden said, my biggest advice would be to go to your professor's office hours, even if it's just to have a conversation with them, even if you don't have a specific question, because professors, they hold those office hours because they want to get to know you. So definitely take advantage of that. Because they want to know you, and it could definitely be very helpful.
And Jia, can you just explain what office hours are?
Yeah, so office hours are a designated time period that every professor has where you can go to their office, drop in, and you can ask them questions about an assignment, or even just go talk to them. And some professors will have their dog in their office, so I say definitely go and check it out.
Great. Yeah.
And for me, I would say just put a extra effort into just getting to know people on campus. If you can just kind of focus a little bit more on just reaching out to people, saying hello, whether it's other students in the cafeteria, or if it's professors and deans. Just really get to know as many people as you can, because by the time you become a sophomore or junior, you're really going to have a great network of just people and support, support areas around you while you're there. So really just get to know deans, professors, campus safety, dining hall staff, just kind of all these people that are going to be a part of your lives for 4 years. Just put a little extra effort into really just getting to know as many people as you can, advocate for yourself, and try and make, as many connections and friendships as you can while you're there.
Excellent. And we have a question about the bathrooms. Does anybody want to talk about what the bathrooms are like specifically in first year halls?
I would love to, because I also think Gia and I can talk about from an RA perspective too. I am a big fan. I have to lie to you guys. I have to tell you that, I cannot lie to you guys, because when I go on tour or on campus, you have to check out the bathrooms wherever you go, because it's a super pivotal part of your college experience wherever you go. And the bathrooms that I have here in Sherrill are the best. My plants were living their best life. They are super spacious. It was also built in the 50s, so they've got awesome old tiles that give it a really groovy vibe, and the colors are kind of on point. They really decked out the bathroom. But at the end of the day, gorgeous big windows, a lot of air, a lot of ventilation. And as an RA, we came into this fall semester, we didn't have a floor drain grate thing, which is super microscopic, you guys. But as an RA, I'm telling you, these are the things we care about. We know who you are. We're using the bathrooms too. We call buildings and grounds. They are on it. They fix those things within days. We are on it, and we want to make sure that your living environment is supportive and safe and beautiful. And so I have to tell you, these are the crazy things that happen when you go to college. You are always advocating for yourself, but we're advocating for you too. And I have to say, bathrooms are pivotal, and you should definitely, if you get a chance, when you're touring, if you've toured on campus, check them out. But also I have to say they're phenomenal. This is weird, but I have a photo of them because my plants were in the bathroom and they looked really cute.
I would expect nothing less from you, Audrey. We're getting some questions about places that first year students live. So we have designated halls for first year students, Jackson Potter Reese, which are all connected, Sherrill Hall, which is another all gender first year building. We have some all male identified first year spaces and some all female identified first year spaces. So we really have a lot of different options for first year students. So not all first year students will be housed in JPR. Again, that's really based upon where your first year seminar students are going to be located, because we do want to try to keep you together with at least a couple of members, if not all of your first year seminars. So that way you have an academic experience together as well as your social living environment. And next question, do many students work off campus as well as on campus?
For me, it was certainly easier to work on campus because of football and my extracurricular activities and things that I was doing on top of my academic workload. So for me to just walk up to admissions on the lake was very convenient. And for me, keeping jobs on campus was easiest and allowed me to get the most amount of hours while I was already busy. But there certainly are opportunities in town. There's so many little restaurants and places where students could definitely get jobs off campus if they have the time and ability to do so, for sure.
Great. And somebody is asking if there's a place on the website to see different first year living options. Many of our residence halls have photos on the residential education website, and admissions and the colleges have been doing a great job of doing some flyover tours of some of the residence halls. So certainly check those out as well. I think they just did one of JPR, which was really cool to sort of have a drone in the residence halls and taking some really cool pictures and videos of lounge spaces and rooms and things like that. So all of that information will definitely be available.
I also want to plug, if you guys want to email or DM any one of us, I would feel more than comfortable. I have really cute photos of my dorm first year, and it meshed really well, as I told you. But also, Josh lives in an awesome theme house on campus, and we used to have barbecues at his place like every single Saturday. And those kind of photos, those experiences that are just so person to person aren't necessarily on the website. So we love to share with you more, I think, about that and send you like a photo of their really cool picnic patio situation if you want them. So definitely feel free to reach out.
Josh, do you want to talk a little bit about your experience living in a theme house? You were in one of our smaller locations.
Yeah, living in Random Acts of Kindness was a lot of fun. It was a nice little theme house. I had a single. It was a small single, which was really nice. But I also had, 5 other roommates, housemates that I could see every single day, walking around the house, cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We had our own living room. It was very much like, a home away from home, which was really nice. And I think that's the best way to put it. It's really a place where you can kind of, bring your own plants in, bring some decorations, whatever you want to make it your own. If you don't like the shower curtain that's in there, you get a new one, you make it your own, which is nice. One thing I can say is how responsive Building and Grounds was for any issues we had with whether it was plumbing, the shower, the casual leakage of the bath that we had. Within a week, they were there. They had a brand new shower put in for us, and it was really, really nice to have that responsiveness. So the houses do stay really nice, and they are cleaned as well, 2 or 3 times a week, which is really nice. So all the common spaces will be cleaned by the Building and Grounds cleaning staff, which is really nice. But overall, it was just an amazing time. I was there for my fall semester, and then in the spring I went abroad. So I was able to co-sign with a friend of mine who then came into my room in the spring. But yeah, like Audrey was saying, we had barbecues, we had friends over constantly, birthday parties in the living room. It was just a very nice and spacious house for the 6 of us. And yeah, had lots of visitors. It was just a really great, home away from home is the best way I could say.
That's great. And I think we're going to end with Eden's, if you would be willing to talk about what it's like to experience Greek life on campus.
Yeah, Greek life on campus, we have 8 fraternities and 1 sorority. It's large enough that you can definitely take part if you're interested, but not so big that it dominates social life. So I know some of my friends at some bigger schools are like, if I'm not in a fraternity or sorority, I won't be able to go to any parties or, make friends that easily, things like that. It's not necessarily the case. It's not the case at all. At HWS, I think just over 17% of the student body takes part in Greek life. And again, it's whether or not you're interested in the organization, their values, things that they do, and what you see them doing on campus.
Excellent. Well, that is all of the time we have for today. So thank you so much to Audrey, Edens, Jia, and Josh for sharing your experiences today. We hope we see all of you on campus in the fall. Don't hesitate to, wave and let us know that you were in our session, and connect with us when you're here in August. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.